Msoul. I see you out there, Hero Flame. I'm so happy to see you. I was thinking about you, actually. I'm so happy to greet you here for the most original and unique Riddle Me Din Din episode ever, and you were there for my very first one. So let's begin. Welcome, welcome, my fabulous mortal souls. This is Venus Callida here. I'm here today with Lake and Kelby from the Sad Panda Studios Crush, Crush, and Blush Blush universes, here to host today's episode of Riddle Me, an unconventional Crush, Crush, Din Din. Today, we're taking a page from Lake's cookbook, and if you follow the Crush, Crush universe, you may know that Lake is our local hottie artist. And we're going to do something with that because we also know, if you follow Lake, that she is not shy and not embarrassed about letting it all go. And Hero Flame, you know all about this. When I get creative at home, I don't wear too much. There's not much between me and my creativity. And it's the same for Lake and Kelby. Well, he's here holding up the protein for the evening, and they're going to be my silent co-host. And Flamey Wamey, I'm so happy to see you. All right. Thank you so much. Well, I thought I'd take a page from Lake's book today, and I was inspired. You know, I've done Disney-inspired things, Harry Potter-inspired dinner nights. I've traveled around the world to taste the foods and the smells of the countries where my subscribers come from. And this summer, we are traveling through the Crush, Crush, Blush, Blush Sad Panda Studios universe. There's so much food in the game. When it clicked in my head like a week ago, we can do this. So we're going to have a few weeks of taking the page out of the different Crush, Crush girls' baking and cooking journals. And here is something inspired by the character of Lake. Thank you so much. And we are doing so well. Here we go. Enough of the preamble. Let's get ready for the most unique menu ever featured here on Riddle Me Din Din Night. What are we waiting for? Nothing. Let's play. Round 1. Riddle me this. Sometimes at weddings the food is thrown. A paddy field is where it's grown. What am I? Do 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 do. Thank you so much, Hero, and I hope you're really going to love the recipes today. I'm so excited to share this with you. Riddle number 2. I can be fried, boiled and mashed, roasted and baked, scalloped and hashed. What am I? Do-do-do-do, 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 do-do-do-do. Riddle number 3. I fall from the clouds. I fall from the cliffs. I fall from your faucet. What am I? Do 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 do. Ba-dum-bum. Riddle number 4. Nowadays I'm used to add flavor. In olden days I was used to pay soldiers and preserve meat. What am I? Riddle number 5. Ooh, we're getting some guesses in, some pretty good guesses. Riddle number 5. What can stretch but never break? Chewy and long and taste sweet when you partake. What could I be? Do 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 da 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 da. Riddle number 6. I am edible dye to make dishes look more fun. What am I? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I am so happy to see all of your guesses. Let's find out how many you got right. In riddle number 1, sometimes at weddings this food is thrown. A paddy field is where it's grown. What is it? Rice. And for this recipe, we're going to need rice flour 1 tablespoon. In riddle number 2, I could be fried, boiled, mashed, and roasted, baked, and scalloped, and hashed. What am I? You were correct. Potato. We're going to need potato starch, 1 tablespoon for this recipe. And riddle number 3. I fall from the clouds. I fall from the cliffs. I fall from your faucet. What am I? Water. Cold water. We'll need 1.5 tablespoons of cold water for this recipe. In riddle number 4. Nowadays I'm used to add flavor. In olden days I was used to pay soldiers and preserve meat. What am I? Salt. Just a pinch of salt will do it, but that's optional. In riddle number 5. What can stretch but never break, chewy and long, and taste sweet when you partake? What is it? This is meant to be super long, thin licorice ropes. You can get them in various colors, so pick the ones you like the most. I like grape, but I think that green one, the lime, actually stands out really well for this particular recipe. So Venus, you may be wondering, what does this make? Hero, you guessed quite a lot of these correct. And if you look closely at what's in my hand, this kind of thin sheet, sort of see-through stuff, it's like rice paper. And this recipe is a Vietnamese style rice paper. We're going to make at least 5 pages per notebook. You heard me right. We're going to make rice paper sheets to be edible notebooks. Because, you know, school's out for some of us, but not for others, and school will come back in. I just think it would be really cute to have a themed, like, school dinner day and have, like, an edible notebook. And in my vision, and I'm going to make this, and I'm going to follow it with a camera and make you a video later this week will come out to see that I actually made this. And since Lake is a painter, we're going to also make something you can see on her palette and over on the side there on her side of the wall. We're also going to be making the edible inks or edible paints. Everything edible, do what you want with it, but we're going to put it on rice paper for this show, because this show is a clean show. Right, Hero? Yes, you did. I love this brain action. I love foodie riddles and riddles with answers. It's so much fun. We're going to make these color sheets of paper. And I'm going to save, if you guys remember those cupcakes I made, the theme cupcakes for our group, and I had this blue dye for the icing. I'm going to save that blue dye to dye some of these rice papers to be the darker color for the outside of these rice paper notebooks. And then these long licorice ropes are meant to be the spine, or to be the spiral spine of the notebook. And then the inside color pages, we're going to leave it undyed or a tiny bit of yellow just to make it light so that we can paint. Each page will have a food or a drink piece for whatever we're imagining we're eating. Because, like, Lake is an artist. We etch and sketch, you know? And that's what we're going to do with this rice paper. It's so fantastic, and I'm going to show you the finished product later. But yeah, we're going to make the rice paper ourselves. This is a Vietnamese style rice paper. You need at least 5 pages per notebook, 2 for the cover and at least 3 for the insides. And because these dyes or stains will go through, everything needs to be spread out on a surface to dry. So I'm clearing a table space for this. But okay, so you kind of know. This is just meant to be a funny and unique dinner to be served, and that's why Kelby here's sitting with the protein apple. Actually, it's neither protein, you know? But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. You definitely have to invite at least someone over and take pictures of this meal. Send me the pictures and send me the comments. I want to see, I want to know how this worked out for you, and I'm going to definitely show you how this is going to work out for me. So I've got all the ingredients here. I'm making it myself too. Okay, focus, Venus. I've digressed too much. Okay, here's what you've got to do to make the rice paper pages. And then we're going to assemble them into notebooks later. But here we go. For the rice paper, you see mine in my hand is like a yellow. Came out a bit yellow, right? So first you're going to whisk the rice flour, potato starch, salt, food coloring, and the cold water together. Remember, count out how much you need for each batch because I would use yellow for the inside papers, and I would use my darker, the blue, for the outside pages. But it's up to you what colors you want. You could go for red. People love a red notebook. Okay. Now, by the time you finish whisking this together, it should come out to be the consistency or thickness as white glue. Okay, then you're going to stretch plastic wrap across the plate, tight like a drum. Pour the mixture onto the plastic wrap. Tilt the plate to spread the mixture into a circle or a sheet. I'm going to go for square for a notebook. and you want it to reach at least 7 inches across. Step 3, you're going to microwave this on high for 45 seconds. The paper puffs up as the water steams in the microwave. And then, step 4, you're going to use oven mitts to turn the plate upside down onto the wax paper. And take the plate off. Carefully peel away the plastic wrap. Your edible paper might curl as it cools, so if you've ever used Shrinky Dinks, so you may want to wear an oven mitt and try to hold it flat down for a few seconds to try to stop it from curling too much. Look, it's going to be a crumpled notebook. We'll just blame the dog. We'll pretend it got caught in the rain. But it's going to be fun. It's textured. It's fun. Anyways, then, yeah, it's going to be like that. In step 6, cut these into squares to help it stay flat because the edges are going to curl. Okay? Even in your best effort, it's going to curl a bit. It's okay. In step 7, you can store this edible rice paper for 1 to 2 days in a Ziploc bag. But not more than that. So you're going to really want to cook this close to the day, maybe 1 day before you actually serve it. But wait, we need to take the cooled pieces and assemble them into the 5 pages stack after we paint them. And you're going to want to, while it hasn't cooled yet, take a big fat like carpet needle or a skewer and poke a couple of holes so that you have a place to sew the licorice whips, the licorice ropes through to make the coiled spine of your notebook. But we can't assemble it yet because we've got to make the edible paints. Meg's got some over there for you right now. You can see the dishes with the different colors because she's a painter. And we're going to paint. This is a page from her book. It's so cute. Okay. So I would carefully poke holes down the left side of each of the rice paper pages, trying to make them in the same spot every time. At least 1 inch, 2 inches apart. You don't need many, just a couple. And at the very, very end, when everything is dried and the paint's dried and the food coloring is dried, we're going to stack things gently together. And to be on the safe side, you could even put parchment paper between each page and then string that licorice whip through to make the coiled spine of the notebooks. And again, I'd leave the inner pages a batch of rice paper that's all pale or yellow because we're going to do something really cool with actually illustrating our dinner items inside the notebook pages when we're ready. Hello, Fanros Fabros. Please meet Hero Flame. Hero Flame, please meet Fanros Fabros because you're both going to enjoy this very unique menu. So, Rose, we've just talked about how to make Vietnamese-style rice paper, which are going to be pages of a notebook. I'm holding some here. The inner pages of the notebook have to be pale rice-colored or like a little bit of yellow food coloring. And we're going to fill these rice paper notebooks like the artist at Lake is. And the artist inside yourself. And don't worry if it looks terrible. This is supposed to be a silly, silly, fun, spoofy dinner. Okay, let's do this. We must move on. So, hey, remember Lake from Crush Crush. She inspired this whole round of foodie riddles. I can't wait to share this with you. Here comes round number 2. Get ready to take your guesses. Riddle me this. What flows like a river but burns like a flame? Ha-cha-cha-cha! Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Riddle number 2. I'm an additive to make foods and drinks look better. What am I? Ba-na-na-na. 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 Ba-na. Riddle number 3. I'm a type of citrus fruit. Although I'm not an orange, I am not a melon either. But melon, you should rearrange. What am I? Do 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 la 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 la. Riddle number 4. Some people bite into it, but it is not a carrot. It is a precious metal that's pure 24 carat, the K. What am I? Boo! Riddle number 5. It sometimes comes as a slab, and sometimes comes as a chip. Sometimes it is a bar or fondue, or something in which I can dip. What am I? Do 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 do. Pew 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 pew. Missed us. We're not wearing a red shirt. We're safe. Yay! Riddle number 6. You often use it with a brush, but not the kind used on your hair. Add it nicely to some canvas so that people will stop and stare. What am I? Do 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 do. All right, everybody. This is the most creative part of our recipes. Let me tell you what these answers are and see how many guesses you got right. In riddle number 1, what flows like a river but burns like a flame? Coming straight from Russia, it's vodka. You'll need 1 tablespoon of vodka. Don't worry, in this recipe, the alcohol part of the vodka is going to dry out and dissipate as we paint and let things set in the air. But if you want to be safe and you're not sure, you could also substitute vodka for lemon extract. And we're going to need this for every color of edible paint we're going to make. In riddle number 2, I'm an additive to make foods and drinks look better. What am I? It's liquid or gel food coloring. Now I'm using the liquid version. It's going to run a lot. Gel will be a little thicker and easier to manage, but it's okay. Vodka, I think, can burn. I think a really good vodka will feel creamy in your mouth, but it depends. If you're not an alcohol person, you're going to burn. If anything other than butter is spicy for you, if butter is a flavor, vodka will burn. Okay, riddle number 3. I'm a type of citrus fruit. Although I'm not an orange, I'm not a melon either, but melon you should rearrange. You were correct, Van Rose. It's lemon. So what we're going to need to make edible gold paint ingredients is a half tablespoon of vodka or lemon extract. Okay. In riddle number 4, some people bite into it, but it's not a carrot. It's a precious metal that's pure 24 karat with a K. What am I? It's gold. And what we need is 1 teaspoon of edible gold luster. I found this in a dollar store really quickly, so it's out there. All right. Now, riddle number 5. It sometimes comes as a slab and sometimes comes as a chip. Sometimes it's a bar or a fondue in which we can dip. What is it? Chocolate. You can buy straight up edible chocolate candy coloring. You can use edible chocolate paints. I keep cocoa powder around to throw in there to make it a little thicker. But you can just buy it straight as it is. But you'll need it. And then this special piece of equipment we'll need to make this all work, just like Lake has one right here. In riddle number 6, you often use it with a brush, but not the kind used in your hair. Add it nicely to some canvas so that people will stop and stare. What are we talking about? Paint. But what you're going to need are paintbrushes you've never used on anything. You have to save them just for food. So paintbrushes for food. Some people have got like tiny little barbecue brushes for sauces, except as long as you've never used it on anything before, you can use it for this. Otherwise, you'll have cross-contamination of flavors. And what we want is edible paints that are going to taste like either lemon or vodka. Doesn't have to have any flavor at all. In my case, since I don't go to the liquor store, I got this vodka-infused green tea beverage. And hopefully that'll be good. And if it doesn't work, I've got lemons. I've got real limes here too, so I'll just use lime instead of lemon. It'll just smell nice, and I mean, everything's going to dry out in the air, so it won't be alcoholic when it's time to eat it. But yeah, so you can have all these different paint colors you'll see over here on the side by Lake, based on the food colorings, and also you can mix food colorings. If you know primary colors, put blue and yellow, you get green, yellow, and red, you get orange, red and blue, you get purple. So if you don't have all the colors, there's ways to mix it, plus your cocoa powder or edible chocolate candy coloring. Also gold luster, which you can mix in with things to make it shiny. There's also silver luster out there, so really it's up to you. Just think about what you would imagine would be a nice meal to serve with your friends and paint it with these colors. So we're going to get there. Okay, now, so Venus, what does this make? I kind of gave it away. What does it have to do with Lake? It's a recipe for edible food paints. Now, she gets paint all over herself. We're going to try to keep it to the rice paper canvases, but it's all up to you. But it's also safe for children too. Once it's been put on the rice flour paper and dries, it will be safe for children. While it is in liquid form in a bowl, no, if you're using vodka, but yes, if you're using the lemon essence instead of vodka, which you can do, and it'll smell nice and taste nice, just like a Pizzelle cookie, really, kind of. That's the closest thing I can think of. All right. You heard me right. Lake is an artist. She always dripping paint all over herself. She's even painted canvases with her body. We're going to use these edible paints to illustrate the rice paper pages of that notebook that we want to assemble to depict your meal. Lol. So imagine this. You've got at least 5 rice paper pages that you made in round 1. They've been drying, and once they've cooled down, you can cover the pages. They can feature the name of your guest on the front, your name on the front of your notebook. I will use my blue dye. Some people might use red, green, whatever your favorite color is for the pages that will be the outsides of your notebook. I would choose darker colors for that, and then keep the inside pages natural or put yellow so that they will be brighter and you can see the pictures that you're going to paint on top of them. Now, each person that you're going to invite to this meal for this edible notebook with edible paints, because it's Vietnamese rice paper with edible paints on each page, and the licorice spine. Okay, so the outside covers are the dark color. The inside pages are for the actual meal you're going to draw. The outside cover on the top that you're going to put on your plate, like Kelby's got a plate over there, right? And we've got some rice paper on here. You're going to layer it so that, and you're going to do it lightly. If you're not sure that things won't rub off on each other, you can put parchment in between each paper. You don't need to do that though. Just gently stack it. Don't press it, right? So the way I envision this, your name's on the front. The name's on the front, maybe with that gold glitter when you put it together. And then on the inside pages could be a drink. Like I'll draw a glass of water. And then the next page, and I can use the dark chocolate to be the outlining of the cup and the blue dye to be the inside, you know, whatever it is. It could be a cup of wine and you're using red dyes inside. It's up to you. And then on the inside, then we're going to do the salad with our green colorings and little yellow squares for croutons. Use whatever color you want for a bowl. And then you let that dry, right? And then you go on to the next page of your rice paper notebook and you're drawing your chicken drumstick or your chicken wing or your sandwich or your roast beef, whatever you're going to draw. And then on the last page, you draw your ice cream cone or bowl of ice cream or dessert, whatever your dessert's going to be. And then the final page of your notebook's on the bottom. And you just eat your dinner like that. Your doodled dinner in this rice paper notebook. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. I'm going to do it. I'm going to document it and show it to you in a Mind Escape video. I hope you'll try it out with me because I think it's hilarious. But don't worry. Don't worry. Round 3 is going to give us the protein just in case this isn't filling enough. But I think imagination is a wonderful thing. And this unique idea from Inspired by Lake, we got to do it. We got to do it. Okay, so here's what we need to do for this all to work to be the most unique meal ever. Making the edible food paints. You're going to mix the ingredients in small stain-resistant bowls, adding more coloring or vodka as needed until your color reaches the desired concentration that you want. So, going back just to say, like, if you want it to be gold, you're mixing together that half tablespoon of vodka or lemon extract with the gold edible gold luster. And you'll need about 1 teaspoon edible gold luster. Or if you want it to be the chocolate, you're mixing your edible chocolate candy coloring or the cocoa powder again, same consistency, 1 teaspoon of that cocoa powder or chocolate candy coloring to the half tablespoon of vodka or lemon extract. See how it works? And it goes on like that. So always any color of the dye, is going to be 1 teaspoon, and the vodka or lemon will be the half tablespoon per coloring. And just know that you have to keep mixing these paints so that they don't like dry out or clump up. And then silver luster if you want, right? Whatever colors you think you're going to need to draw all the parts of your meal into the pages of your notebook. And okay, for the gold paint, you're going to mix the ingredients in a small stainless stain-resistant bowl, adding more luster or vodka as needed until this paint should be pretty concentrated and will have to be constantly stirred or it will separate. The best technique is to dab your paintbrush where the liquid meets the bowl and press the brush against the side of the bowl so excess liquid is removed, so we don't just smear it all over the rice paper, because it is going to bleed out a bit like a watercolor painting, but just go with it. It's just funny, right? So painting with the edible chocolate, regular edible paint is not going to work on waxy chocolate surfaces. Remember, we're painting edible chocolate paint right out of the bottle if you want for detailed painting on top of the wax rice paper. And you don't need to mix it. But if you want to do a personal thing, you can put cocoa powder in with the vodka and keep stirring that so it doesn't separate. Now, here's a chef's note. Even though this recipe contains alcohol, it's safe to use on cake or desserts for children. The alcohol will evaporate as the paint dries into the rice paper canvases, and it'll be gone by the time they're eaten. So you won't be able to taste the vodka. Just buy the plain vodka, not flavored vodka for this. Edible food paint should be tasteless unless you use the lemon extract, so you're just going to get that citrus vibe from that. And that'll be just a very faint lemony taste, very, very faint. Okay. Now, you're going to have to keep all your pages, the rice paper pages, spread out until your dinner illustrations have completely dried. Then you're going to stack gently to assemble your notebooks. And remember that before these rice papers dried, you used a skewer like a shish kebab stick or a toothpick or a carpet needle to make holes so that you can string the long licorice rope through the holes in a circular pattern to make a spine, like a coil spine for your notebook. And it's just any fun color that you want. And tuck in the ends on the inside of the coil, just like we see the metal ones that we buy from a dollar store for school. Okay, and then you've now got a licorice whip coil binder looking notebook. Yay! You're going to place these on the plates around your table for all anticipated dinner guests. Lol! And now for a lovely crushed crust dessert to place on a small plate to the top right diagonal corner of the notebook on a plate meal. What would Miss Desiree be expecting each morning? That's your only clue. If you know who Miss Desiree is, what would she expect to get every morning? And that's the thing that Kelby's got on his plate over here, because athletes need their protein. And in case your rice paper imagination, artistic, illustrated dinner is not filling enough, this dessert is going to make sure you get everything you need to carry your energy through the day and get everything done. I think this is hilarious, and it really looks good. Okay, so here we go. Round number 3 to complete our most unique meal idea ever. Riddle me this. What grain dances with the morning sun, yet remains a staple when the day is done? La 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 la. Riddle number 2. I'm a sweet brown spice making teas, rolls, and pies taste extra nice. What am I? Do 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 do. Riddle number 3. Who answers the door at the nut house? Do 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 do. La 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 la. Riddle number 4. I'm sweet, but I'm not melted chocolate. I'm found in a comb, but I'm not hair. I'm created by an insect, but I'm not a web. What could I be? Do 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 do. Choo 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 choo. Missed. All right, riddle number 5. If you like to eat small fruit, then this one is sure to please because it is dried grape used in oatmeal cookies. What am I? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, Fan Rose, I see your guess. But what is Miss Desiree's job? That might give you a clue. Huh? Riddle number 6. This is a popular fruit, which is usually red or green. You eat them or drink their juice and bob for them on Halloween. What are they? La 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 la. Oh, your guesses are killing me. Okay. All right, Lake and Kelby, we've got to find out how many of these riddles were they able to solve. Let's go back to riddle number 1. What grain dances with the morning sun yet remains a staple when the day is done? Oats. 1 tablespoon of rolled oats is needed for this recipe. And riddle number 2, I'm a sweet brown spice making teas, rolls, and pies taste extra nice. What am I? Cinnamon. We'll need an 1/8 teaspoon ground cinnamon for this recipe. Riddle number 3, who answers the door at the nut house? The peanut butler. Peanut butler. Peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter. Anyways, we'll need 3 tablespoons unsweetened peanut butter or almond butter or whatever the healthy butter choice is for you. Nut butters are great. All right. Riddle number 4. I'm sweet, but I'm not melted chocolate. I'm found in a comb, but I'm not hair. I'm created by an insect, buzz buzz, but I'm not a web. What am I? It's honey. We need 3/4 teaspoon honey for this recipe. And riddle number 5, if you like to eat small fruit, then this one is sure to please because it is dried grape used in oatmeal cookies and raisin bran cereal. Is it raisins? And we need 1 tablespoon raisins. You know what? I like the big yellow raisins as much as I like the dark brown raisins. So it's whichever raisin makes you feel the best. Riddle number 6. This is a popular fruit which is usually red or green. Could be yellow. Pick your favorite color so that it just looks fabulous. Kelby likes both red and green, so he's used both. I love yellow, so I would use yellow on this too. It all looks good. Okay. You eat them or drink their juice and bob for them on Halloween. What is it? Apples. So for every one notebook that you've made, for every place setting, for someone you've invited to the lake's dinner, you're gonna have one of these apple stacks. So Venus, you might ask me, what does this make? It's a snack recipe for an apple sandwich. These are literally apple sandwiches. So if your notebook sketched painted dinner is not enough, you have these very full of protein, very healthy apple sandwiches to serve on the little plate to the top. Because an apple for the teacher. Desiree's a teacher. Miss Desiree's a teacher who's missing a shirt and the bottom half of her skirt. But nevertheless, I think she needs help. Let's feed her some apples. Apple a day for the teacher, apple a day keeps the doctor away. And one of these apple sandwiches with every notebook. It just looks so cute, like you're ready for Crush School, and it's going to make sure that your guests are full and full of something healthy, which is great. Anyways, I'm just having fun thinking about everybody making this and serving it up and eating it. And then tell me what you think in the comments. And send me pictures if you can. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. So I want to see. Now, here's what we have to do to build Kelby's favorite apple sandwiches. All right, here we go. You're going to combine the oats and cinnamon in a dry skillet over medium heat and toast them, stirring occasionally until the oats are golden. Cool them before you use them. Mix together the peanut butter or nut butter of your choice and honey. Core and slice the apple into 6 rounds. If you don't have an apple core, you can slice the apple first and then cut out the centers with a small cookie cutter or a knife. But you want to try to leave them looking like slices of bread, like you see here stacked in Kelby's hands. Now, you're going to spread 1 tablespoon of the butter, peanut butter or almond butter, whatever butter, on 3 of the apple slices and sprinkle them with the raisins and the oats. Top them with the remaining apple slices to form sandwiches. Also, fun fact, I actually sprinkle shredded coconut onto this as well. And I can sub out cranberries for the raisins. So coconut, cranberry, almond butter, for example, would be actually a combination I have done. With the yellow apples, alternating with the red apples. If you like a sweet and sour, use the green apple. And then you have 1 apple sandwich served up with each rice paper edible paint of your doodled dinner menu items, notebooks on the main dish. It's hilarious and yummy. Also, chef's notes. If you're not eating the apples right away, you can brush each of the apple slices with the lemon juice to prevent them from browning. It's a solution of a 1/4 cup water and 1 tablespoon lemon juice does the trick without tasting too lemony. For strict gluten-free diets, be sure to use gluten-free oats. And again, switch out the peanut butter for whatever nut butter is the one that works with your metabolism the best. It's yummy. It's something too that you can make and then like stick into a lunchbox and be on the go, you know? Okay. Are you eager to get shopping and get into that kitchen to recreate this edible notebook and apple sandwiches with paintings of your meals sketched inside the rice paper pages? Serve it up with the apple sandwich on the side for all your guests. Have fun with this Crush super unique inspired kitchen adventure. It's definitely a page from Lake's cookbook, totally inspired by this lovely lady right here, and with enough protein to satisfy this athletic basketball player right over here. Thank you, Lake and Kelby, for your silent co-hosting skills. Thank you to all my followers and subscribers, anyone stopping by to have fun solving the foodie riddles. And I really hope you're getting out there. I bought all this stuff. I've got everything here. I'm going to be making this over the next couple of days and taking pictures. I'm going to show you guys the finished product. Please give it a try. It's so silly and fun and creative. And it's a good laugh. It's a good talking piece. It's totally unique. So, this is Venus Callida concluding today's very fun episode of Riddle Me an Unconventional Crush DinDin, a page from Lake's cookbook. We'll see Lake and other Crush characters again over the rest of the next few weeks as we continue to take pages out of the waifu of the Crush world, and we're going to be cooking. Next week, buckle up, because we're going to be taking a page out of Aika's cookbook. Oh boy, you know that's going to be some eating off wild animals from the land. So if you're squeamish, buckle in there. If you are salivating, you're just the right person to come to our next episode. Anyways, this is Venus Callida. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun. I hope you are intrigued. Please try it out and let me know in the comments how you personalize this, how it worked out for you. And I'm going to share with you how this worked out for me within a week. Because I'm going to be taking a picture, documenting it all with pictures from my little pink camera, and I will upload it all as soon as it's done. Take care out there. I hope you do make those apple sandwiches. They're so fun and awesome. And let me know in the comments if you personalized it in any way. For me, I switched out for the raisins for cranberries. I used almond butter instead of peanut butter, and I put coconut shreds on it. That's just me, but I also brush the apples with lemon, so I find that this is a nice flavor profile just for me. That's my kind of thing. Or dried apricots. I love dried apricots with almond butter. But I would then bake the apples so that it gets all warm and melty. And I just love it. I can't help it. I just love it. Don't forget, if you love cinnamon, to sprinkle some cinnamon on those slices of apple once you start stacking. All right. Take care out there. Have fun. Enjoy this meal. And I will play peekaboo with you tomorrow sometime. If not here, then on Twitch. Just check out my schedule in our post area. And have a wonderful night. You deserve it. Bon appetit. And I'll see you next time. This is Venus Callida.